My name's Emily De Dakis. I am a producer and dramaturg and writer, and I worked with Terra Nova as a freelance dramaturg, and then also when I was the literary manager and dramaturg for Accidental Theatre over the years. So it's been 10 years next year for me, 9 years I guess, I've been connected to the company. I started working with Terra Nova back in 2013 and 14 on Arrivals 2, and I was the dramaturg for that, and I also did documentation of some of the community workshops. It was incredible working with 5 different writers, I think, on that one. I also worked on Arrivals 4 a few years later, Me, You, Us, Them, and I've done some other, some smaller community workshops along with Hive Choir, and also some kind of behind-the-scenes script dramaturgy with Andrea on a couple of projects over the years as well. And what it's been like for me to be involved as a dramaturg with the company has been honestly incredible. It's one of my favorite ongoing relationships that I have with companies. It's different every single time. It's thoughtful every time. It's been one of the more really incredibly receptive to my ideas and my input as an artist, but also incredibly clear about what the intention was all the time, and made me feel really confident and excited about the possibilities that were going to come out of each project, and each of them bringing together just a fantastic group of people who are so brilliant and memorable. And even if I haven't been able to stay in touch with them as closely as I'd like to, they're sort of these lovely people on the periphery of my artistic life that I'm just really grateful for. So yeah, gratitude would be the word I have for what it's been like to be involved. So the work that I did on Arrivals and the time I spent on those 2 projects was incredibly meaningful. It was not only the chance to work on what became 5 incredibly different plays that were created by a single company, and getting to see each artist and each performer especially kind of being given these really fascinating and very different roles to do within one production, and getting to know them. Like, I remember meeting Melissa Dean and Robert Bertrand and people like that I just wouldn't have got to meet them otherwise, and they're just absolutely stellar performers. And also the time, I think what was really especially meaningful about that project was the kind of spaces that Andrea wants to create as a theater maker for other theater makers. There's one thing if she has like a meeting at her house with the beautiful big table, and it's just such a welcoming kind of theater, always feels like family with her, which is really important to me. I think, being an immigrant here and being very far from home all the time. And equal to that, it was a chance to meet people who also had my experience of being from elsewhere, which is, I guess it's an increasingly significant part of the population, but when I moved here it was about 2%, I think, of the people living here were not originally born here. So I think it's been a lot of the people that I've connected with who kind of helped me understand who I am here have been through Terra Nova and through Arrivals particularly, as well, because that space she makes is also about the experimentation and the welcoming and the connection with the wider community. So the community workshops of that were just really eye-opening, and I love the kind of there's the kitchen table side of things. If you're meeting, when Terra Nova was based in Andrea's house, there was that kind of like community and sort of sense of family. But she made that happen whatever rehearsal room we were in. There was that sense of like nesting and like welcome and intentionality in the space, and bringing things in and exploring the world through what we were carrying in our minds and how we hold our bodies, and all the different ways that the things that we were bringing together in that room always felt very alive. And I loved getting to know the process immediately by being there in the room. And then since then, I know she's created such an incredible toolkit for other artists as well. So it was exciting to kind of see how that was how that was built with artists and loads of people in the community together. So yeah, just something I think is really important is how just the remarkable amount of care and attention that Andrea takes in creating productions with Terra Nova that tell immigrant experiences. I've always found the presentation of those stories has just been so deeply convincing and so artfully and thoughtfully and respectfully done in a way that I just always knew the people whose stories we were hearing were involved and, you know, or were understood. And I think the clarity of that and the care of that is a really critical thing and brilliant thing. What 3 words come to my mind when I think of Terra Nova? Generous, I think I said that already, but it's generous. And holistic, because there's just such attention to detail at every step of things with Andrea and with the things that Terra Nova has made. And, you know, and that's from like the detail of a puppet all the way to like how a particular story is being presented or handled or welcomed into a space. And brave, because honestly I think it is really giving people a space to explore bravely with really sometimes very complicated, and we don't always know how complicated they are until we start talking about them, I think. Yeah, and I think it's also, I think Andrea's been quite brave as being an immigrant leading a theater company here. I think that's an incredibly important position, I think, and an important role and person to have in this shared arts community, honestly. Yeah.